Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Wilkins, and I'm a conservator here at Jamestown Rediscovery. I'm in the Archaearium, kneeling in front of the Captains and Commanders exhibit. To celebrate our first time putting a 400-year-old Roman lock pistol on display, we've made this three-part Dig Deeper series. In part one of the series, David Givens, our Director of Archaeology, will talk about the excavation of the pistol from the 400-year-old well. In part two, the Director of Collections and Conservation, Michael Lavin, will talk about the significance of the firearm and its importance here at Jamestown. In part three, I'll talk about the conservation of the pistol and how we got it here onto display. So, welcome to Dig Deeper.
Hi, I'm Dave Givens, Director of Archaeology here at the Jamestown Rediscovery Program, and I'm standing inside our archaeological museum called the Archaearium here at Historic Jamestowne. And I'm next to one of my favorite parts of the exhibit because it's a very unique display in which a well shaft is incorporated into a case to interpret a well that we found in the early 2000s that dates to about 1619. It's really neat in that the vertical representation of what we found can be displayed here, including the well ring, the wooden ring that was at the bottom of the well. The fact that this one was brick somewhat suggested it was later, but the artifacts, as always, gave us a fairly conclusive date till a little bit later in the first quarter of the 17th century. Now, one of the reasons that archaeologists love wells is that they're anaerobic environments. And water was very important to the colonists, and Jamestown is very low-lying. So the wells aren't exceptionally deep, like they are at other historic sites potentially. They're only about 14 to 16 feet up on the fort site, which is about 15 feet above sea level, roughly, give or take a few feet. Now, there is no oxygen, hence the term anaerobic, and a lot of the artifacts, and many of which you can see in this case, iron, organics like leather, seeds, wooden bowls, and actually multi-component items, wood, brass, and iron, will often survive after 400 or 400 plus years. So they're very exciting for archaeologists, one, because of the preservation level, and it's speaking to the past in a very elegant way that's often sometimes unfragmented. But they also, it provides a unique situation in where most of the time you're just going back in time. So you start from the top, it's the youngest part, and you just go on down. So it's a very exciting time in life when you're just digging down through history. One of the artifacts that were this Dig Deeper videos about was a pistol that I found in the 1611-1612 well. Now, when you're excavating wells, it's ironic, although it's very exciting, the excavations were during the early summer, and it was very hot outside. What people don't realize when they watch the video of the excavations is that the water temperature, the ambient temperature of the earth is around 53 degrees. You don't maybe understand it or see it, but I'm oftentimes was becoming near hypothermic in those conditions in the middle of summer. But the way that we excavate is not necessarily with a trowel or a shovel. And in this case, I was using my hands, and you can see it on the video. I had my knees on sandbags, and I was feeling around for objects that I didn't want to hurt using a scoop or a plastic scoop or other tool. And so in feeling in the mud, I actually came across the pistol.
Here we go. Oh, buddy. Yeah.
It feels like an octagonal barrel.
Hey, go watch it.
Is that right?
Yeah, octagonal to round.
Feels like a wood stock.
And as I moved my fingers around it, it became very clear that that's what it was. And I then pulled it out, and there was great screaming way up top. And I think the pistol and other artifacts that came out of that well were those are the poignant moments in life in which, you know, we often say it's not what you find, it's what you find out, but occasionally you do find things like loaded pistols down a well that you'll always remember and make for great stories. So that is one of the key artifacts in the history of this project, and certainly my career in archaeology.